You need to breathe. Yeah.
And done for today.
Shut the load.
Here is why weight cutting should be removed from the UFC. So if you guys did not know, most UFC fighters have to cut weight before fighting a fighter. They usually cut around 15 to 20 pounds within 48 hours. The reason why UFC fighters do this is because of the advantage of being a lot bigger in the lower weight classes. This can be a huge advantage. For example, we take Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa walks around 220 pounds or 100 kilograms. If Paulo Costa fought at his natural weight, he would have to fight in the heavyweight division of the UFC. With that in mind, let's say he fights someone in the heavyweight division around his ranking. He would have to fight Tom Aspinall. Paulo Costa stands around 6'1" and Tom Aspinall stands around 6'5". Tom Aspinall weighs around 250 pounds after cutting. The UFC rules on weight cutting. The UFC has rules on weight cutting. These rules can be changed depending on the fight locations and the governing body. Almost every state has its own athletic commission, such as NYSAC, CSAC, and so on. There are a total of 12 different weight classes in the UFC. Most fighters will have an extreme no salt and no carb diet. The reason for this is carbohydrates draw water into your body, and you want to do the complete opposite by removing moisture from your body. During this time, eating more than 30 to 50 grams of carbohydrates per day is not advised. Fruits, starch, and other sugars and carbohydrates are included in this. Salt is also not allowed because it has sodium in it and it binds into the water, which will cause you to weigh more than you should. Most fighters will say that fighting is the easiest part, but cutting is the most excruciating. How fighters cut weight. The most common way UFC fighters cut weight is they gradually dehydrate themselves for 5 days. They start with 2 gallons on the first day, then they reduce it down to 1 gallon for 2 days. This will put your body into flush mode, meaning it will start filtering water out rapidly. On the 4th day, you reduce your water intake to half a gallon, then a quarter of a gallon, then finally no waters before the weigh-ins. They will also use the sauna and hot baths and cycling to burn off more sweat and calories. You may think it's over, but after the weigh-ins, fighters will have to rehydrate themselves to replace all the lost fluids by drinking up to a liter an hour. This allows the fighter to gain back up all the weight. So we have talked about how and why fighters cut weight. Now we're going to be talking about the dangers of cutting weight. There are many dangers to cutting weight, such as reduced aerobic endurance, dizziness, lightheadedness, and fatigue, just to name a few. The psychological effects of cutting weight can lead fighters into confusion. A fighter must act on split-second decisions, and weight cutting can be a disturbance. An example of how bad weight cutting can actually be is the story of Jim Miller. Jim Miller was peeing blood and got kidney stones while cutting weight. Miller says that he developed kidney stones as a result of the periods of extreme dehydration he experienced through his career. He had a full-blown kidney infection the year prior. The sad thing is that this is a common case when you're dehydrating your body. With all these side effects and weight cutting issues, why doesn't Dana White do anything about the weight cutting issue? Well, in an interview with TSN, Dana said, let's say at a 165-pound weight, bigger guys will try to make 165. Everybody's always looking for an advantage. But personally, I do not think that that's a good point to make. In fact, I think the UFC should do it like One Championship. The way One Championship set up their fights is like this. They have more weight classes starting from atomweight at 115 pounds, strawweight at 125, flyweight at 135, bantamweight at 145, featherweight at 155, lightweight 170, welterweight 185, middleweight 205, light heavyweight 225, heavyweight 265. One Championship has banned weight cutting via dehydration. One Championship assigns the fighter weight via their walking weight. So let's say you as the fighter walks around 172, you will be assigned to the fight in the lightweight class. When athletes arrive at the hotel for fight week, their weights will be checked. Each competitor must conform to the catch weight or contracted weight class regulation. Fighters will have to weigh in and take a urine-specific gravity test to see if they are dehydrated or not. If he or she passed the test, they do not have to show up for the next day. If the athlete does not pass the test on the event day, they will either not be able to fight or the fighter must agree on making the catch weight. I think this is a much better method than having to lose 15 to 20 pounds. This also ensures that a fighter won't have to worry about cutting weight and instead can focus on their training. This is why the UFC should remove weight cutting. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you guys wanted to add something or I missed something out, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video.